involved in food and hospitality, and of course, music.
The tastiest show on 100.4 FM.
Proudly brought to you by Salt on the Waterfront.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Taranaki Foodies, the tastiest food show on 100.4 FM. It's us, Elena Williams and Warwick Foy, in the studio with the red walls, and we have an amazing episode today. One of our favorites, in fact, because our guest is a foodie, and she's a well-known and inspiring foodie, Rachel Church, the founder of the Feastival Taranaki. Similar to what people do in Wellington, like Wellington on a plate. We're just making some very unique events and we talk about them, and she's going to tell us more about it today. Hello, Rachel.
Nice to be here.
So our show is sponsored by Salt Restaurant, by Millennium Hotels, and they've been participating in the Feastival Taranaki for quite several years.
Yes, they have. They come up with some really creative events. They started with a 3-course dinner on Wednesday, and then they have a beautiful Father's Day barbecue lunch tomorrow that's nicely sold out. So yeah, some really good celebrations there tomorrow. A great partner.
And I went there on Wednesday, and it was really, really classy. It was like a high-end food, very delicate, a lot of work and thoughts put into it. So yes, good things happening. So
Yes.
Rachel, tell us more about this particular episode of the festival. It's called the Age of the Winter, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah. So we're celebrating that sort of transition time between winter and spring. 15 events around the Munga, so around the mountain. It's a really great celebration. Collaborations between producers, restaurants, cafes. Really unique collaborative events. We're really, really pleased.
So what is your favorite?
Oh, I can't have a favorite, can I?
Hard questions.
I mean, I think my favorite experience going to them all is just seeing happy people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're very different. You know, right now the nice hotel is finishing up a 3-hour-long lunch. There's people decked out there and having fun and glowing from their beautiful experience. And then also at the same time, there's a fly fishing demonstration happening at Piano Farms. So 2 very different audiences, but people having a really cool time and very much enjoying themselves.
That's so cool, the fly fishing.
I know, and they're serving like local smoked trout. It's a young woman too. She's in her 20s, and you know, it's just discovering those people in our community and the amazing collaborations. So it's quite cool. So just seeing people happy, learning something new, seeing a restaurant in a new way, really is quite a pleasure to go around and see them all.
Mm. So you already mentioned nice hotel, table restaurant,
Yes.
and we said a few words about Salt Restaurant of Millennium Hotels. So those are people who participate often. Do you have a mixture of new and old
Yes,
participants?
I'm so lucky when I send out that link and ask the entire industry to be involved to see who comes back. So Dawn in Owakura was a new one for us this time. They had a really interesting film festival coupled with beautiful food from Nico Tourette. We also have Gusto, who had an event last night, and everyone's just glowing and raving about this event, how beautifully done it was, how well they presented the food, and it was about our kaimoana, so the beautiful fish that we have here at Taranaki. So those 2 kind of new ones are really, really happy, and I'm sorry, it's almost at the end of my weekend, so I'm a little bit tired. If I'm forgetting any of the other new ones, I disagree. But they're always incorporating different producers, different food growers, different people that are within the region. So it's always something new and exciting.
Tourette is back. What's the?
Well, yes, Nico, he does the food now at Dawn, so he was involved with that one. And we have a really special event tomorrow morning. I think we just have 1 ticket left, if it's still available, at the Farmers Market Taranaki, where Nico is actually going to use produce and products from the market to do a complete tasting, and so that's a really cool. So to see him at work is just a tremendous thing. So I'm sure it'll be a really cool event.
I think this is super fascinating because it's not only someone else's cooks to you. You kind of connect to the food because you choose it, you touch it, and then you make sure that it kind of ends on your plate and in the way that you appreciate it. So it might stay, right?
Absolutely. I mean, our farmers market is amazing. We have a great variety of products and things going on there. So it's fun to see a chef go in and use them to actually create something quite unique.
I've been thinking, I've been hearing the heart pounding
And
with pleasure
with
or
American
excitement that
excitement.
it's the
No.
band, so Elena's just going to
Yeah.
shush them. So, what else in that little moment, Rachel, can you tell us about what's coming up or anything else? to
Yeah,
fill
I mean, really cool to see coming back is the collaboration between Monica's and Snug Lounge, and that's tomorrow as well. It's a boozy lunch, so they do such an amazing job at creating an atmosphere there. So they really create a nice long table, or I'm not sure what they're doing tomorrow, but just the attention to detail and how pretty and stylish, and to see those two restaurants coming together to create something, it's just tremendous. So the farmers market, they're doing that, and then like I said, salt with Father's Day. So it's a great way to treat your father.
Indeed, Sunday sessions, we used to say
Yes,
back in the
exactly.
day.
Yep.
So let's get into your first song. I don't know if you chose these or Elena did, but it's called Sweet Pea, and it's by Amos Lee, and you're listening to The Foodie Show. Oh, no, Stephen. Hi, Stephen. What were they doing in there?
I didn't have the time to ask, but I talked to them and asked them to hold it for 30 minutes, and they were really, really happy to do this.
Did I just have
I might
some
be very
picture
scary
of-
because the people just
Oh, babe, Sunday.
I don't know. You like music, Rachel?
Yes, yes.
My friend Stephen from Hamilton.
Hi, Rachel.
You always bring friends from all over New Zealand. How many do you have, Warwick?
Many.
Are you from New Plymouth originally?
Kind of.
Okay.
Grew up in Hamilton,
Okay.
so my rallies are
Right, I'll get it.
Yeah.
We need to create a story. Like,
Story?
yeah, so maybe you're a secret son of a dictator or something like that. Which will work pretty well on the radio. Hungarian, how about Hungarian? Huh?
Now, who did I meet? Oh, do you know the lady from Conducted Education, Renata?
Yes, of
She's
course.
Hungarian.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of Hungarian people around. Our son took a girl to the ball from Hungarian migrants, and yeah, we were kind of talking about we like similar food and stuff. So it was pretty. So you could be Hungarian prince. How about that?
So where's this fish and chip from?
This is a secret
Oh, it's a
one.
secret,
I'm going
so
to
we have
tell,
to wait,
and
okay.
this one a secret of Rachel.
Okay, all right.
She knows.
So shall we kind of serve it?
I reckon because it's going to get soggy.
Yeah. Let's do it. Okay.
It might be required to even.
I can't be a judge.
Good.
Wow, that is ample. I'm gonna take a check. I'm hungry. That's one order.
Well, they asked the
Yeah.
quantity of fishes. That's 3.
Fish being unwrapped for our little feature today, but Rachel's got a
Yeah,
mouthful that she
wow.
will tell us about that.
I don't know. It's something really, really comforting about deep fried food. Rachel, tell us. What do you think about it?
I've actually never had fish and chips in New Zealand before.
Really?
I believe, yeah. I'm kind of American. It's not a thing.
Yeah.
Pizza on Friday night, not fish and chips.
Interesting.
I'll get a fish burger
Oh,
and
right.
steal a fry or
Fish-
two.
Fish and chips comes from our English heritage,
Exactly.
of course.
Yeah.
But for many Kiwis, it would have been a staple. It's more expensive than it used to be. It used to be cheap,
Yeah.
and so everybody could afford to have it. But it's quite a lot dearer now.
But you do like hot dogs and things in there, don't you? Like, there's other things that you do other than fish when you get fish and chips.
So the iconic things would be a potato fritter,
Okay.
a hot dog, a battered sausage, a pineapple ring.
Breaded sausage. That's
Should I grab
disgusting.
knife and forks or a spoon? He's just gone
So
it.
interesting.
I don't think that you have
mussel,
knife and
and
forks
a
today.
power fritter. Those are the iconic things that you would get. But fish and chips is the staple.
Yeah.
So I never tried fish and chips until I went to England, and this seems so strange to me because I mean in the same oil you cook 2 different types of food. Plus, deep fried food is not something that we do a lot in Eastern Europe, but yeah, I can understand the appeal of it because it's very comforting. It's very kind of a peckish. You sit down around it, everyone has a little piece and you talk, and I mean originally someone told me that it's supposed to be wrapped in a newspaper, right?
Yes,
So you
yeah.
read the news,
It
old
was,
news.
wrapped, it was wrapped in a newspaper right up until
Oh, was it
maybe
here?
15 years ago.
Oh, really? Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And that's
So-
the health and safety.
Warwick, what is the good quality of good fish and chips? What we need to look at while we're trying these two beautiful offers from local, unknown, secret locations?
Well, first I'll say they both look amazing. So you should have fresh, clean oil. So you shouldn't have any sort of oxidized or smoky or dirty flavors. You should have. Every fish shop does their chips differently, but essentially you would have crispy and light and hot and not soggy. In England they put vinegar on them, which I like when I'm there, so I wouldn't do it here. For the fish, you would want obviously fresh, good quality fish. When you live by the sea, as we do here, you tend to get different fish coming in that they'll go for. So sometimes you'll have gurnard, maybe priced a bit better, if there's plenty of gurnard. But around here, a Waiho is that looks like Waiho to me. Do you know what it is? It looks like Waiho.
Waiho,
Yes.
That's the common one. But of course, some people like snapper. Taranaki, I like it.
I was just wondering if I order without specifying what fish I want, because usually they have a choice, which wasn't happening before, right? It's only a recent innovation.
So a bit shark.
Yeah.
Lemon
So
fish.
I was wondering what they're going to put as a fish if I don't ask for anything specific.
Yeah, shark. I'm not joking. Lemon fish.
Lemon fish is the shark.
Okay.
So things they don't tell immigrants.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it actually tastes alright.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes I have had, it's not common, but
Eileen, are you gonna have
quite
some?
a oily, solid fish. Some people like that.
Okay.
What else to say? Well, I guess fish and chip shops. So in every, yes please, also. Every fish and chip shop, every block of shops in New Zealand would have had a dairy, a chemist, a veggie shop, a fish and chip shop, and maybe whatever else, a mower and bike shop perhaps. So now the competition is much bigger. Of course, thank you very much.
So the first portion is served by our amazing videographer and taster Zach, and we have 6 people tasting this particular fish and chips in the studio, and all those who are going to be ready to give us a review, we are going to listen to them. But by the look of it, it's beautifully wrapped, it's still hot. I would say steaming hot, but sometimes it's not a really good idea. I can see that the fish and chips are beautifully golden color, and they're kind of the same color, so it means that they've been cooked in actually separate places because they kind of fry with a different speed. Fish and chips fry with a different speed, and I've noticed that they stopped actually serving tomato sauce by default. Like we have 2 bottles, one with the aioli and another one with the ketchup. So people who prefer kind of less acidic, I suppose they can go to aioli, and ketchup one, the classic lovers can have a ketchup one. So yeah, and the fish there is Wareham, which is not. I admire people who can tell the type of fish by just tasting it, but I can't. But I really like the shark. Lemon fish is probably one of my favorite.
It's more, to be honest, it's more the shape of it and the texture of it than the flavour.
Yeah, it does keep the shape very well.
I mean,
Yes.
gurnard has the little V cut out of it, so that's easy.
Also, there is a tradition in New Zealand, I've heard. It's not in our house, but all the people tell me that Friday is the day for fish and chips. Is that true?
Absolutely.
Rachel?
Well, I've heard, yes.
Yes.
I am dating a
Yes,
Kiwi, so I've heard that.
That is correct, and there's a very important traditional way to eat it. Shall I describe that to you?
Yes, please.
So you'd all sit around watching TV2, because it had all the best shows on it.
Cute.
Excitedly waiting for Dad to come back with the fish and chips. And if you were really lucky, you would have a 2 litre of Coke as well. And then you'd go into the lounge, and Mum would get the Wattie's tomato sauce, we could call it ketchup back then, and it would be opened out on the floor, and a pile of sauce would be tipped onto the paper, and then you'd all just go for it.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
That sounds like
So, what is the drink that people usually consume with the fish and chips? Did you say Coke?
Coke or lemonade or Fanta.
All right. All nasty stuff.
Mm.
I suppose that the acidity just needs to cut through the grease because otherwise it becomes too greasy in your mouth. And the sweetness of all these fizzy drinks that are kind of a hidden acidity help to digest in some way, in some strange way.
Yeah.
I mean, there are several ways of what's edible, and we don't die from it. It's probably not very good for us, but it's quite tasty, right? Okay. So I can see that some of our tasters has finished. So Zach, are you ready for a review?
Yep.
Or would you like to try the other portion and compare them? How would you like
Yeah.
to press it?
I may try the other one and compare
Okay.
them, I think.
The other.
Yes, so please
Okay.
portion it between people who tried it before, and we are going to compare two different things, and we are going on air give live roasting reviews to those two places.
Just an easy
Interestingly, when Rachel and I were looking for
Yeah.
places with fish and chips, there are only few places open at a ripe time of 4 p.m., which is really, really strange. I mean, there is a famous Kitchen Co., right, which was closed. Mike's Fish and Chips, which is one of my favorites because they do gluten-free. It was closed as well. And yeah, some other places like High Fries that is very popular and known and famous for their seafood also was closed sadly. So next time we will plan something else maybe.
I don't think it's strange. It's like nobody would eat fish and chips at 4 o'clock.
Really?
Absolutely. We'd have it at 6:30.
Okay.
6:30. Oh,
Yeah.
poor fish and
You know,
chips
New Zealand
outlets.
is a
They all
conservative.
have orders at the same time. There is no spread. Friday 6:30. The only time of the week everyone's busy with fish and chips. Okay. So I've noticed that our host pub changes so much, and there is a lot of kind of overlapping and intervening things. Like in every good restaurant, you can have a good burger, and the same with the fish and chips. More and more restaurants offer kind of a fancy version of fish and chips. So when you eat fish and chips in the restaurant, what sort of things that you look for? Obviously not the same as when you do a takeaway. What do you think, Rachel?
I would think you would just look for up-leveling of it, maybe the way that the batter's prepared, but yeah, again, I've never ordered it.
I would never order fish and chips in
Really?
a restaurant. Never. Never,
Really?
never.
Always take
Because
away.
this is the only way that you would want to have it.
Really?
Yeah.
Fascinating. Do you make it at home?
Oh yeah, we have made it at home. Yeah. Never tastes quite the same.
No.
There is also two other things to talk about here. First one is the controversial practice of crumbing the fish, which is more healthy apparently.
Ramming.
Crumbing, but it's not the real thing. But it is probably healthier.
But I mean, if you pan fry a fish and put some mashed potatoes, still fish and chips, right? In a quirky, strange, and wrong way, but still.
So if you live in a place where fishing is available, and I've done this here and in Coromandel, you can catch your fish and then take it there, and they'll clean it for you and gut it and fillet it and weigh it because
Oh my.
there are laws about that, and they take a record of how much they've taken in, and then they'll cook it for you.
Oh, that's lovely.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's amazing. And I mean, there are certain cuisines that are big on seafood. One of them in New Zealand, obviously. And another one is Greek. And they cook fish in such a beautiful way. Very, very kind of honoring the kind of gods of sea and things like that. So they don't overcook it, and it's always fresh because it's lots of islands, lots of fishermen. So this is when I did cooking classes. This was one of my most popular class, the Greek cooking class. And at the end of the class, we actually smashed the dishes. Everyone loved it.
Of course.
Once I had a corporate event, and it was like a little bit of a team building. And I said, if something bothering you, you smash it. And so it was really, really powerful session. So yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah. So if I will choose to eat fish and chips, which I do at Mike's, they do pan fried and mashed potatoes sometimes, and it's like it doesn't class as a chips and fish, but it's still I enjoy it.
Yeah, they had rave reviews for the food. They had a sold out event for Feastival that they put a second one on Thursday. And everyone's just raving about how great they are.
So I'm ready to review this as Zach is eating.
And looking
so-
happy.
So this is definitely gurnard, and you can tell by the shape, but also it's just next level. Like it's lighter, it's sweeter, it's just a nicer fish to eat, in my opinion. It's nothing against the probiotic because
This is
Different
the
species.
second place. So the first one was obviously from takeaway, and it was huge, and it was big chunks, and it was kind of a little bit messy, and the pieces of the fish were huge, right? And now you tried the second one, which comes in a beautiful biodegradable box with a special lining, the branding on it, and chips are like air fried rather than deep fried.
Air fried.
I
And
think
a
it's air fried.
shoestring, which you
Yeah.
wouldn't commonly find with, they're always like that shape. It's
Mm.
the traditional square shape.
There is a little bit salad, I believe locally grown lemon, and kind of aioli inside. Rachel, how much did you pay for this one?
$30.
$30. Well, I paid for the first one 41. So actually, takeaway was more
It's quite
expensive.
these days. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, it's not that long ago that a piece of fish was $3.
Yeah.
Now it's more
Yeah.
like $8.
Yeah.
Really gone.
And the thing is, that money's not going into those people's pockets. They're having to raise their prices because everything else has gone up. So I know, I usually always think of my father who thought that jeans were only $20. And you're like, Dad, when's the last time it was a pair of Levi's was $20? And I think we all get in that mindset because we do remember. But the conditions were very different, and they're dealing with a lot. And so we're spoiled to be able to say we know so many great fish and chip places in our
Yeah.
town. So yeah.
Yes. But I mean, the first one is so much bigger that was taken from takeaway. It's just like probably 1.5 kilos of chips or something like that. Does it bother you worrying that the second one, which is kind of a more fancy, more sophisticated, but it is much smaller?
No. We actually have a funny story in our house. I say my children have left now, but when they were there, how much chips, as in how much dollar value of chips, right? To me, sounds grammatically correct. And my wife will say, no, it's how many chips. I'm like, no, you're not saying I'm going to have 120 chips when you put in your order. You would always order by $5 or 1 scoop or 2 scoop.
No, of course, what people hate pedantic.
So, what's a scoop these days? Is that 3?
3 scoops and 3 scoops and 3 pieces of fish. I didn't realize how big scoop is.
Yeah.
But,
It's a lot. It's a lot.
what was striking that I had to buy sauces separately. So it's quite a common thing now because the landscape of hospitality changes. So the owners were migrants, the same as me, but they didn't speak English very well. So when I said something like, "Hey, where is the tomato sauce and aioli?" They didn't know what I was talking about.
Lucky. Do we save any fish for our beer reviewer?
I hope so.
Some chips
The
there.
beer arrives. Hello, this is amazing Michael Donaldson in our. But yeah, he brought the beer, so those who already ate the fish can have a chance. Right. While we are setting it up with Michael, maybe Zach can come and give us the review. Zach Williams, take it away.
Hi, I'm Zach Williams, and I just tried both of these delicious fish and chip options. Unlike Warwick, who favoured the second version, I'm a man of habit, and I absolutely love the first one. I've just come accustomed to the light, fluffy batter and just the. Yep, that's exactly right. Just the crispy chips. I love the sogginess and the saltiness. And the second one, it was still, extremely delicious. But I think the first one is just my favourite. I forgot to ask you, Warwick, what one did you prefer? Was it the second?
I liked the chips of the first and the fish of the second. But what is the fish and chip tradition in your house?
Well, we haven't had fish and chips for a while, unfortunately. But usually, if we do, it's on a Saturday and we go down to the beach. And just bring our sauce down and watch the sunset and devour a huge amount of fish and chips.
So which one, your favorite, Zach?
The first one,
The first one.
definitely.
Oh, take away one. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you for a wonderful review.
Uh-huh.
Anyone else wants to add, because we have 6 people to try. And so there's the first offer, which is amazing takeaway, which was open at 4 o'clock, and another one is from a restaurant. So is anyone ready to say something? Come on, we have Mikari, our second videographer, who's looking after our YouTube channel. Okay, take it away, Mikari.
Kia ora. When I walked in the room, I just realised I was going to be in for some reka kai and some delicious food. And man, it was torture to be in a room where there's a delicious classic dish. Oh, I was so sad when I had to wait. And I'm very happy to talk about it. And for the first meal I had, the chips was, I don't know if there's something wrong with my tongue, but the chips was kind of bland, pretty disappointing to be honest. But the fish kind of gave it back, kind of revived it to be honest. And the second dish, when I had the fish by itself, it was alright. But when I had a lemon, it kind of gave it a kick, and then after that I had some tortilla sauce, and I felt like I was in heaven. Wow, rangi too, ha ha, holy hell. And then for the chips, it kind of tasted a little bit more gourmet than the first, and yeah, but me personally, you can never go wrong with fish and chips.
Wow.
The best staples.
Well said.
Awesome, wow. 2 different reviews, well, 3 different reviews, including Warwick. I still include you, you see? 2 reviews. Amazing, and it just shows that there is a place for every different fish and chip. And shall we disclose where we took it from? So the first one was from the Kingfish Takeaway, which is on Carrington Street. Which is amazing kind of a outlet with a lot of different businesses. And the second one is from Deluxe Diner, which is known for their gluten-free food, and they have a special place where they cook gluten-free. And one is like a raw classical takeaway, and another is a more refined version with a salad and shoestring air-fried chips. So, hey, if you decide that you want to go and see sunset the same as Zach's family does, take your favorite fish and chips, go and spend time together. That's what is hospital about, isn't it? I think it's a perfect time to listen to our second song, which is Potato and Molasses, one of my favorites. A bit hooliganistic. Let's listen together.
I'm way early for this.
No, too
the
late.
King's
You're
not.
eating fishes.
We just live around the corner from Kingfish, so we go there all the time. But Gurnett always. I don't get fish and
Gurnett.
chips, I guess I get Gurnett.
Right.
But yeah, it's so much sweeter and lighter, and yeah.
It's the worth
So
it.
there wasn't
$3
kind of a fair comparison. Yeah, the Kingfish do a nice Gurnett, but it gets expensive. But it's an extra like $4 a piece or something to step up to Gurnett.
Well, I didn't know. When I ordered on the
that
phone,
the
I
Taranaki
didn't even
fish?
know that there are several options. They just said fish and
It
chips,
must be,
3
yeah.
pieces, and that's it.
It's really good.
So we've got you early, but we're still growing the piece, so it doesn't matter. Just practicing.
I just want to give one shot just before we go back on live. Can you come in sort of here maybe? You stay where you are. Can she just sit in this chair here? And I'll just get you guys all facing this way and just give it like a smile and a
Oh,
wave.
okay, I see.
I like that. Okay.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
It's Michael.
I'm
Alright, and 1, 2, 3, and away! Hey!
Hey.
Come on, we can do better than that. We're having fun, it's
We
fun
haven't
here.
been here yet.
Ready? Okay, hold on. All together. And 1, 2, 3, yay!
Shall we include Zach?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
jump in.
yeah.
We'll go
Sorry.
together, our team.
Alright, one
together.
more. Okay, and 1, 2, 3, hey! Yeah, nice. Awesome. Cool, cheers. Right, I'm going to stick out.
Yes,
Thanks,
my
that was
wife,
really
thank
good.
you very much.
Yes, thank you very much for coming, Ed.
No problem,
Yes, thank you.
thanks.
No problem with these chips. I'd like to review it. It was great.
Well, I can review the 5 cents fish and chips. No. Piece of fish.
Wow.
They
and
already
chips.
did that song. It's alright?
I can't remember fish and chips, but I can remember 4 cents for a pint of
How
milk.
did I do that? I clicked on the wrong song.
4 cents.
It's
Yeah.
alright.
We'll just go straight to Michael, then go back to that. So Michael, Rachel is,
Yes.
how do you, I don't want to...
Feastival?
The founder of Feastival.
You, you know already, okay.
Yes.
Good.
I've done my research.
So I'm accidentally playing your song now, so it's a bit of a balls up, but
Oh, okay.
we'll just go segue straight into the
Yeah,
beer.
yeah.
It's alright. Awesome.
Well, it's timely because we're matching beer with fish.
Guys have eaten your fish.
I like doing that this summer. Surprising my partner to eat fish and chips on the beach.
See, I don't love that because it gets sanded in.
But there's
yeah.
there's like picnic tables that like
True,
stuff.
true.
Places you can sit.
True.
But I mean, if everyone has it at 6:30 on Friday, there's not a lot of tables left.
I do like a lunchtime fish and chips.
So do I.
Yeah, I'm still not part of the culture, but
Yeah.
I'm getting that way.
Like I said, I think, oh, I've never really done that. Think about it summer.
I've got a little surprise for you, Michael. This is Stephen, my friend behind you.
Oh, g'day, Steve.
At Shining Peak after this.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
something happening without me.
Historical event.
Historical.
It's guy times.
Yeah. Men's club.
We have to look after ourselves.
Oh, that's one of my favourite ones, yeah.
Oh, good review, well done.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
I'll start. Right, so all out of sequence this week because we ate the fish early and we had to have beer with it. We played the beer song before the beer review. So that was Bluebell Cockleshell 1, 2, 3. Welcome, Michael, with your beer segment for the week.
Hello, Warwick. Hello, Elena. Thank you for having me back. When I heard you were having fish and chips, I went for a Steinlager Classic. And the reason I did that is I think fish and chips, fatty food in general, needs something that's going to really kind of cut through it. It has to be a little bit tangy, has to be well carbonated, has to be reasonably light bodied, so you don't want a big fat hazy IPA or something like that. And I don't know, Steinlager it's nearly 70 years old, first brewed in 1958. And it's got a real legacy, but it's timely this week as well because the news just came out the other day that Lion New Zealand, who makes Steinlager, and Lion Australia have merged into one company, which is
Wow.
interesting. And I don't know if that means we're going to get more Aussie beer over
Tunes
here.
or something.
Yeah.
I'm so surprised that you brought Steinlager because I believe a lot of people, especially kind of a certain generation, are frowning upon all the main kind of mainstream beers, and everyone is trying to find the best strange kind of a niche beer.
It's a good point, and I was expecting that question. I'm a beer guy, not just a craft beer guy. But it's interesting, like, big breweries make really good beer, and they make it really well, and if something tastes really good. The whole ownership thing I'm not too fussed about, and the whole mainstream thing I'm not too fussed about. You know, a lot of people say don't buy, because Lion, if people don't know, are owned by Kirin, which is, I think, a subsidiary of Mitsubishi or something, you know, so...
Wow, I didn't know that.
So it's a big corporate organisation, but they still employ a hell of a lot of people in New Zealand, and they're the biggest brewery in New Zealand, so you can't ignore them. And I just think Steinlager Classic is actually, it's almost retro cool now, especially in the big bottle, you know, like I just love a big bottle. It's
Perfect
Yeah.
now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think there's a saying that every brewer in New Zealand has a six-pack of Steinlager in their fridge. It's a guilty pleasure, or not even guilty.
No,
it's just a
no, it's an
pleasure.
open pleasure.
It's
Yeah,
an open pleasure,
they will not deny it.
No.
And the reason is because it is so well made, it is so consistent, but it's a little bit unique as well. It's for a sort of an international style lager. It's quite hoppy, and it's got a real kick. And I think the thing that sets it apart is this particular, the New Zealand hops in particular, this green bullet hop.
Legendary green bullet.
Green bullet, yeah, and that's having a little bit of a comeback in craft beer circles, and kind of people have paid homage to Steinlager Classic by using green bullet in beer. So Brothers Beer earlier this year did a Stein Grenade green bullet hopped Imperial Pilsner.
So for the immigrants in the room, a Stein Grenade is what we used to call them on Sundays.
Yes.
Because everything else was 4%. Steinlager was 5%. So it wasn't actually the beer, it was the fact that it was 5%,
Yeah.
which is 20% more than
Yes.
4%.
Yeah.
So it
yeah.
makes a lot of difference on
Yeah.
a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
So another clarification for an immigrant in the room. When you say hoppy and you use such a great description, you have an amazing language. How do you describe the hoppiness? What hoppiness is?
Okay, so first of all, it's bitterness. Hops bring bitterness, but that's quite broad and generic. And then different hop varieties have different essential oils in them, and compounds that deliver flavors. Like some taste like this is quite a kind of lemony flavor. Citrus is the default position of a lot of hops, but increasingly they're being bred for other characteristics, including stone fruit, passion fruit, guava, Nectaron is one that New Zealand Hops developed, and it's got like pineapple and orange would be the main characters. And then you get some maybe pine needles. Some have berry qualities. Some exhibit kind of traits of coconut. And it's all just to do with the combination of oils and compounds in them. There's a lot of sulfur compounds is what form these things. And some people say smell like cat wee. Others smell like cannabis.
The highest compliments.
Yeah.
Rachel Church and me are just like all ears because we probably are more kind of aware of what wine tastes or maybe a cocktail.
And there is a hop called Nelson Sauvin which tastes like, or has an aroma and flavour of white grapes.
And
So
it
it's,
absolutely does.
yeah, and you know, it took me a long time to kind of love that expression of great flavour in a beer. It's kind of, yeah.
There is a difference between brew and brewer because some time ago, 2 years ago, I brought a special brewing kit for my amazing husband, and we have consecutively 2 very, very dark, very, very bitter beers. So, what people actually brew nowadays, how they determine their taste, what affects their decisions and things like that.
What affects the decisions these days? I think what still sells is a kind of a classic IPA. So big, bold, hoppy, and this is craft beer I'm talking about. What really sells is lager, but that doesn't necessarily express great hop character. But one of the big trends in beer is for it to become sweeter, and that's across the board, because bitterness was something that not everyone loves in a beer, and in craft beer especially, there was a sort of a bitterness wars in the early part of this century where everyone was trying to make it more and more bitter, to the point where, you know, some were just unpalatable. And what people have realised is there's only a very small niche of kind of geeky weirdo people that really like super bitter. Most people like sweet, and so beers have been geared back to a more sweet profile.
Can you remember a well-known example of one of those extra bitter beers?
Well, yeah, Macalla, which is a Danish brewery, did one, and I can't, maybe they just called it 1,000 IBU. So IBU is an international bittering unit or bitterness unit, and you know, you sometimes see it on bottles of beer, 100 IBUs, and it's just it's like a standardized measurement for how much bitterness, and you work it out by hops have alpha acids in them, and how these convert in the brew creates the bitterness. And so you can get an estimate of how many bitterness units are in your beer. And it's been said that you can't taste any more bitterness once it gets past 100. And so Macalla did one that was 1,000 supposedly, and yeah, it got tipped down the sink and cleaned it really nicely.
My palate, sorry, Alina, my palate is destroyed from too much hop abuse, but I always thought Bitter Bitch was quite, not just the name, but that was quite a bitter IPA.
Yeah, the early ones were
Yeah,
from
the
Paradox,
early ones,
yeah. And that's what happened was they scaled up a home brew size to a full production size at Mike's when they were out at Uranui. Mike's did it for them about 2012, I think. And when you scale up a recipe from 25 litres at home to 2,500 litres, you get better, just better everything, better expression of all the flavours, better quality, but also more bitterness. It's just the way it works. And so they brewed that beer and it was insanely bitter, and they, yeah,
I have
hence
good
the name.
memories of it.
Yeah.
Really.
It's toned down a lot now.
Yeah.
Not hasn't changed its profile, but it's far more palatable.
So we'll talk about your slot here, Michael. So we're going to be introducing it. We're still working on it, so that's why it's 20 minutes early. But we'll have it at about 10 to 5, and you'll have a song, and you will match it to a beer. Today you were led with the fish and chips, and we went with the Steiny, which was cool. I think 9 out of 10 bottles of beer sold around the world are green bottles, so it's still a very popular style, particularly in Europe, maybe.
Yep.
And there's a place for it. Like I had a Steiny for probably a year or so, but I loved it.
Yeah, it just leaves this nice broad bitterness across your palate. It's quite cleansing, refreshing. It's just a really good beer. And yeah, I think a couple of 2028, it's having its 70th anniversary, so maybe they'll have some sort of celebration for that.
And so let's talk about a couple of things. Firstly, Steiny Blue. We'll come back to Steiny Blue. I had the hoodie in both colours.
Yeah.
So there is also in the market, for some reason, Lion went with Stella, which in Europe is regarded as a cheap beer and has an awful nickname that I'm sure you will know. And so they brought Stella in, and it sort of pushed, in my opinion, Steinlager a little bit out of the market, and it's got quite a cheap price point for a premier product.
Yeah.
And then it's pitched against New Zealand brewed Heineken, which personally I think is not very nice. What are your thoughts on those things?
Oh, do you want to talk Steinlager Blue?
We can
I
start.
don't know how many of our listeners would remember Steinlager Blue, but it was a reaction to. So Steinlager Classic was always quite a bitter beer in its time, especially compared against the relatively sweet draft beers that people were drinking in the 70s and early 80s. And so Lion thought, we need a slightly sweeter version. And so they took out the Green Bullet hop and replaced it with, I want to say Pacific Jade, but anyway, they toned down the hopping rate, they made it slightly sweeter, because New Zealand palates weren't necessarily ready for this kind of quite a hoppy lager. And yeah, it was a disaster really. They pushed it hard, but it didn't do anything. And in fact, I think pushed people more towards the green label, as Steinlager was back then.
Was Joseph Coots a response to Steiny Blue? Was that another story?
I don't know. Joseph Coots, yeah, that was a DP product. But Joseph Coots was an actual brewer back in the day, in Tai-Happy of all places. But what I was going to say is, on the other topic, is Steinlager is now so fractionated. Is that a word? Because you've got Steinlager Pure, which I think is probably the succession to Blue, in that it's the toned down version of the green bottle, and then you've got and then you've got the zero version, the Tokyo Dry Japanese version, the light version, the low carb version. You know, there's so many Steinlagers now, but you can't beat a classic.
And we're so lucky because all this is available in our amazing Taranaki, especially during Feastival Taranaki that is happening now, and it was founded by one of our amazing guests today, Rachel Church, and we are kind of still buzzing because there's still half of the evening and tomorrow some events happening. So if you haven't had a chance to attend any of those events, please, Rachel, can you please tell us what is still happening tomorrow or today, or is it all sold?
Yes. I'm going, no, it's all sold out, which is a great problem for us to have. But yes, all the events tomorrow are sold out, starting with the farmers market. Nico from Tourette's doing that demonstration, and we have the one at Snub, and then Salt.
Does that give you ideas to scale up even more?
Yes, it does. Well, listen, this is a platform for these people, right? It's not myself doing this. This is a tremendous hospitality scene that are putting these events on. We've, the goal was to get Taranaki people to be enthused about them and to go to them. And here we are with 11 out of the 15 selling out and 96% of all the tickets. So I think we've ticked that box. So yes, what can we do to make sure that continues, and then just give them the ability to keep doing. So yeah, I'm very, very proud for them.
Maybe next time we have a talk with the international beer writer, Michael Donaldson.
Be great. We've got many venues, I'm sure, that welcome you with open arms. So that's what it's about, and it's great to see people with this type of experience and skill set coming into our region and making it more vital, and that we celebrating them. So yeah, so keep an eye on Taranaki for the next one in April.
Awesome. So for those who just switched on, it's Taranaki Foodies with Alina Williams and Warwick Foy, proudly supported by Salt Restaurant of Millennium Hotels. Do we have to say anything else, Warwick, before we wrap up?
We have to say that the Mad Media time is 4:47.
Yes, please support all our sponsors, including Mad Media and so many other people who make our foodies community very vibrant and very, very pleasing. Thank you so much, my wonderful gourmetarians, and see you next time on air at 4 p.m. next Saturday.